Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while. It's been about 2 years since I've shown my face here on YouTube, and I want to start by saying thank you so much for the time you've given me to rest, recuperate, and heal from some of the things that have happened. Thank you for your support and your patience, and I am very happy to be back, and I am very happy you're still here, and I hope you will come with me and grow with me on this new path that I've chosen, and I am just very grateful. So what I'm going to do in this video is explain a little bit about what happened 2 years ago, and I want to stay respectful and not share too many details of the story because I think it's not necessary anymore after 2 years to dive into the details, but I do feel like the ones of you that have supported me through everything deserve an explanation. Especially since a lot of the relationship has been on YouTube, so it feels a little weird probably to some of you that it was just like bam and gone. So I am going to explain a little bit about what happened, and then I asked you guys if you had any questions for me on Instagram, and you guys did, so I will be giving you answers to those questions, and then we'll go from there. So, okay, I have, of course, a lot to tell. I haven't been on YouTube making videos, but I have seen your comments, some of them very interesting, very wild fantasies of what went on between me and my ex-husband Sam. We did get a divorce 2 years ago now. It actually was finalized only last year, but officially we separated over 2 years ago, I think 2.5 years ago now. And the reason why we separated is not really easily explained. There's not really one solid reason, but a lot of things happened. Some of it in our control, some of it not in our control, that just made it very hard for us to stay together. We got married in the first place because we loved each other very, very much, but also because we wanted to stay together because I was Dutch and my visa was expiring and he was American, so we knew we had to do long distance. And since we were very much in love with each other, we decided to get married to be able to stay with each other. So for everyone that's saying it's rushed, blah, 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 it was rushed. And it's a little bit in the middle. It was very rushed, but we did really love each other. Like, I really wanted to marry him. I wanted to be with him. So it wasn't fully diplomatic either. I am a very passionate person. So if I love someone, I love them very dearly. So marriage wasn't a weird option for me. I really felt like that's what I wanted to do, and he did too. So we were very happy with our decision. So we were married and things went well. We had our ups and our downs, quite difficult downs. There was a bit of a trust issue between us. I think we said that much on Instagram, that there was like a trust issue between us. So things went up and down sometimes, but nothing enough for me to end the relationship. But then something happened in the family, on his side of the family, that made it where we couldn't apply for my visa anymore. And I know it sounds a little bit strange, but I can't really get into details because it's, one, not my story to tell, and two, legally I don't feel comfortable oversharing. But the situation that happened made it where we couldn't apply for my spousal visa anymore. So we had to wait and do long distance for a while, and that part we shared on YouTube. I think we shared a little bit about what was going on in our lives. Not too much, but maybe for some of you that have watched the Sam and Rosa channel, you know the period that I'm talking about. So we did long distance for, I think, 1.5 years, and we tried to make it work. So we weren't gonna break up just because I didn't get the visa. We really did love each other, so we tried to make it work. But it was very difficult, long distance, and especially with trust issues. And there was a couple more things going on that made it very difficult for me mentally to stay in the relationship. So I went to get help. I got professional mental help from a psychologist, and she was really amazing. She helped me a lot with expressing how I felt about the relationship and working through some of the things that I was too deep into to realize. It's so, I don't know if it sounds very vague because I'm not mentioning any details, but if you guys have any questions, I can clear that up in the comments. So just let me know if there's anything too vague here. Anyway, so after going to therapy for a while, I decided that for my mental health and his mental health, it would be the best for us not to be together anymore. So I broke the news to him and it didn't go very well. So we didn't speak to each other for, I think, a month. And then after that, we spoke to each other a little bit again, just because we had to deal with a lot of stuff and we had to deal with the paperwork and everything. So we got to be friends again, but it was a very difficult time. It was a very hard time because having to make a decision that you want to leave someone you love so very much isn't easy. Like, breakups are never easy. If you're really over someone, it's not easy, but if you're really still in love with someone, it's, I think, even harder. By the way, I'm sorry for my washing machine going ham right now. But in my case, I was still really, really in love with Sam, so it was really hard to decide for the better for us two. And I hope he sees that now as well, that I made the decision in the best interest of both of us. But yeah, it was really hard separating, and after that I went into a pretty deep dark space of depression because I was trying to work through what had happened in the relationship and the breakup as well, because the last part of our relationship was so chaotic with everything that happened. I didn't really have time to process anything, and it was pretty tough stuff. So everything just hit me at once after the relationship was over. So I decided to quit YouTube for a while and quit social media altogether, because I didn't post on Instagram either, because every time I did, the questions would be about Sam and the divorce, and there was a lot of judging. A lot of judging. And as an outsider's perspective, I get it, but then again, you really don't know what's happening in someone's life. I hope from now on this can be a platform where we don't have to judge each other. You can always ask questions. There's always room for discussion, but with love and not with judgment or spite or any of that, really. So yeah, I think that's about as much as I want to say about that. Again, if there's something really, really vague, you can always ask me, but please respect if I choose not to answer, or if I feel like I have said enough. If he wants to say something about it, that's up to him. Right now, we're friends, but we're not really speaking. So I don't know. I haven't talked to him about this video, and I don't know how he feels about it, but he's free to share his side of the story. I am comfortable with the situation now, so there you have it. That's that part. So let's move on to the questions. So I'll use the questions you guys asked me to guide us through the video and talk to you a bit more about what happened the past 2 years and how I'm doing now. Because the first question is, how are you doing? So right now I'm doing really good, but it has been a journey. After I felt really depressed after the divorce, I found Reiki, and it has changed my life. Honestly, it has changed my life for the better. So while I was going through my divorce, I went to see my best friend in Norway. We decided to get a Reiki treatment because we were very curious, both of us, and I had a lot to process, so I was like, bring it on. Everything that feels good, just give it to me right now. And that experience was just magical. It was so great. It felt like the therapist was like pulling out ropes of bad energy, like really pulling on my head and just sucking everything out, and I felt so light afterwards and so strong, and it just kick-started something for me, like a healing that I have never been able to experience on that level. So my interest for Reiki was very much awakened, and I started buying some books about it, and then eventually I decided to get training in Reiki and get my first degree and my second degree, and now I have my practitioner's degree, so I am a licensed therapist, which is really nice. I'm really proud of that, actually. I still love movies and acting, and I still do that too, but I'm also very grateful to have found alternative healing therapies for people that went through hardships and are going through hard things and don't know how to heal. And I'm very grateful to be able to have a job as a therapist now and help people recover from whatever they're suffering with. I've worked through some pretty heavy stuff with the help of Reiki myself, and it's just made life so much lighter for me. So to finish a very long answer to your very short question, I am doing very good right now. Thank you so much. The next question is, are you content to move back to the Netherlands or do you want to go back to the US? So I'm off and on about this. I'm very happy to be home in this strange time. Very happy to be close to my family because I couldn't imagine how it must be like for some people that have to do long distance with their loved ones in this time where you can't travel and you can't see each other. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I love Holland, honestly, I do. But work-wise, I love the US. I honestly feel that there's so much to do there still. Film-wise, it's obviously a better place to be. And therapy-wise too, I feel like a lot of places that I've been can use some Reiki therapy, and that's no shade. It's just, I feel like a lot of people with depression and anxiety can be helped with something like Reiki, which is a fairly simple solution to a very heavy problem. I am not trying to step on anyone's toes with the type of treatment you're getting for your anxiety or depression. I just want to say that a lot of people could benefit from something as Reiki therapy or holistic therapy to get to a better place. So I'm not saying I will never move back to the US again because I love it there, but I'm also very content with where I am right now. The next question I have is, what encouraged you towards spirituality? So when my relationship with Sam was a little bit rough already, I used to find a lot of comfort in spiritual videos, and I watched a lot of Harmony Nice and Bahati Life. So that got me really into the idea of owning up to spirituality. I've always been a spiritual person. I was kind of scared to be open about it and be forward about my beliefs. But watching those type of YouTube videos and finding so much comfort in it in times of need was for me a trigger to really embrace my spirituality and dive deeper into the things I wanted to get to know, like tarot and alternative therapies and so much more. Spirituality for me is about finding that place of true love within yourself and healing within yourself. Like crystals are nice and incense are nice, you know. And I do have them around my house, of course, but it's so much deeper than that. For me, it's just about a free type of love that embraces everyone with all their flaws, and it's something really amazing for me, and I have really found myself through spirituality, and I practice that spirituality in different ways because sometimes I get kind of stuck in feeling like I have to manifest this way. I have to do a practice every morning, but you can kind of get lost in that regimen of needing to be the perfect spiritual person when just cleaning your house can be a spiritual practice, and just lathering yourself in lotion can be a spiritual practice, you know? So I'm recently trying to find just the little moments in the day where I feel connected most to myself and the world around me, and that to me is spirituality. And I'm so happy to finally feel like I can come forward and not feel afraid of what people think of me anymore, because I know now that it comes from a place of love, and anything that comes from a place of love is good, I think, even if it's not someone's taste. On to the next question, that is, what is your biggest accomplishment this year? I think it's gonna have to be the degree I got as a Reiki practitioner. So I am licensed to have my own Reiki practice. Also, I've been on a natural healing journey from my eczema, which I have suffered from since I was a kid, but I was on very heavy steroids. So I wasn't healing, I was just repressing symptoms which were getting worse. And that healing journey is a whole nother story. I can do a separate video on that if you guys are interested. But I'm very proud of that as well, because it was very tough to get through, but I feel like I've had the worst now. So yeah, those are my biggest accomplishment. And the last question for today is, has getting a divorce changed your views on marriage? It's a good question, but honestly, it hasn't. I still think marriage can be a beautiful seal on a beautiful bond between two people, and I still think a commitment to each other is very holy and very beautiful. I also do not regret my decision. I still stand by everything I've done in my life, even the things that other people consider mistakes, because I am the person that I am right now because of everything I have done and lived through. I could say things like, you should think about it longer and be more considerate of your decisions regarding marriage, but then who am I to say that, you know? I still think people should follow their hearts wherever that may lead them, and sometimes you fall on your face, but you know what? You can always get back up, and there's always another day. So I don't think I'm the one to preach about what you should or should not do regarding marriage. I just can say that I believe in love. I have always believed in love, and I always will believe in love, whatever that looks like for you or me. So that concludes the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave in the comments down below what kind of videos you would like to see from me, and also leave a comment if you have any more questions. I'm happy to answer them and talk to you guys a little bit, because I have honestly missed you guys so much. So thank you for having me back, and I will see you hopefully next time.